Breaking news on CNN Philippines, more than 2 billion pesos worth of illegal drugs seized in an anti-drug operation in Makati. Police recovered some 400 kilos of suspected shabu in a raid at an apartment in Barangay San Antonio. Police arrested a Chinese national acting as a warehouse man. The apartment served as warehouse where a syndicate keeps the illegal drugs inside dog food packages. And we now talk to PNP Officer in Charge, Lieutenant General Archie Gamboa. Sir, good morning, maayong buntag. Thanks for taking our call.
Ria, maayong buntag. Good morning to your listeners.
Sir, tell us more about this anti-drug operation in Barangay San Antonio, Makati. When did you start to get information about activity in that area?
Yes, last night, the head of the Philippine National Police Drug Enforcement Group called me up at around 12 o'clock and informed me that there's an accomplishment that they did through a buy-bust operation, specifically in Banayo Street, Barangay San Antonio, Makati, which resulted to the arrest of Liu Chao. He is a Chinese citizen. And initially, based on the inventory that is now being conducted, it's around 371 kilos of shabu, worth more or less around 2.5 billion pesos.
2.5 billion po. All right.
Yes.
As you said, you arrested a Chinese national who's acting as a warehouse man. What do we know about this individual and his involvement in this raid, or rather with this syndicate?
Yes, in Tagalog, we call it bodeguero, no, or warehouse. Surveillance has been conducted upon him for the past 2 weeks. That's the time that he occupied this apartment. And through our assets, they have pinpointed the source of this shabu trading here in this apartment. When you say a bodeguero, no, or a warehouse man, he usually receives the stocks coming from the outside, meaning to say import. From import, he gets it, and then around 5 or 7 or 6 kilos, he retails it to other pushers, so that from then on, they're going to sell the shabu on the streets. So that's why there's a big howl, because as we can see, the howl is around 371 kilos, probably the biggest so far in this year's campaign.
Now, sir, do we know if these drugs are locally produced or imported?
That we still have to determine, but the way it is packed, we are more or less convinced that this is coming from the outside. And as a matter of fact, we have not really discovered any shabu laboratory in the Philippines. And based on our intelligence gathering, there are none as of yet that are existing. So all of these are coming from the outside. But of course, his being a Chinese citizen does not necessarily conclude that it is from China. We still have to determine, probably conduct an interview upon him, so that we would know the flow on how this came about and was found here in the Philippines.
Sir, aside from this Chinese national, are we looking at other persons of interest who may have escaped the anti-drug operation last night?
He is all alone, no? Actually, our agents dealt with him alone. So when our operatives conducted the buy-bust operation and ultimately the raid there inside that apartment, he's all alone. He's all alone so far.
Okay, sir. And at this point, are you cooperating or coordinating with the Customs Bureau, given that this seems to be an imported haul of drugs?
Yeah, that can be subsequent actions of the PNP upon determination, and if we will discover the real personality of this suspect, then maybe we can gather more evidences on the source, how it came about, and who probably his contacts are in the Philippines.
Yes, sir. How long were you keeping this particular area under watch? Is it one syndicate involved or several? Do we know that at this point?
As of yet, as I have said, he is alone. He's only one personality. And in dealing with these drugs, sometimes they do it alone, no? So that when they get financial benefits out of it, they won't even have to share it, no? But we still have to find out on the different connections he has, if he has more bosses or who are his downlines. These are yet to be determined after maybe interviewing the suspect, if ever he would speak to the authorities.
Okay, and is there any other information, though, we have about other syndicates that may be connected with this? Or have there been other drug busts in which similar drugs packed in a similar way have been found?
We still have to connect the dots with other raids that we have conducted and connections that may be connected also to this raid that we have conducted.
All right, thank you so much for your time this morning. That was PNP Officer in Charge, Lieutenant General Archie Gamboa.